Ultimate backhanded compliment coming at you right here. You ready? Here it is. It's better than the last one. Underworld Blood Wars. So Underworld Blood Wars continues the story of the Underworld franchise. It's the fifth one in the franchise now. Underworld started out vampires versus Lycans, Lycans being werewolves, and Celine, played by Kate Beckinsale, she's a death dealer. She's going against the Lycans and her people betray her, so she's going against them too. All the while she has her love interest. Fast forward many movies later. Pretty much the same thing minus the love interest. And in this movie, the new Lycan leader is looking for her child. In fact, everyone's really looking for her child because her blood's gonna make super soldiers or something like that, so everyone wants a piece of that pie. However, now here we are, vampires and werewolves. And really vampires versus vampires, because there's a lot of that too. And that's what I'm gonna say is cool. When the action's going down, it's cool enough. I was watching, I was like, yeah, it's cool action going down in an action movie. But nowadays, action movies, when they have, yeah, of course it's gonna look cool. Not all of it looks cool, but a lot of it does look cool. When she's fighting Frankenstein's monster from the trailer, it was like, yeah, it's a pretty fun fight. Because people are getting hit hard and people are slamming into rocks, and there you are. Simplest part of my brain's like, yeah, cool. But really, that's what the movie has. The movie also, as many Underworld movies have in them, is interesting lore with very little payoff. I'm not saying all the Underworld movies are terrible. I'm saying that all the Underworld movies do suffer from the fact that it's built on such an interesting premise, and that premise never really has the payoff it should, given the premise it is. And watching the movie, there is that logic part of the brain that starts opening up like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. You really have to beat that thing down if you're gonna enjoy this. When you have such a big war, I imagine would get attention from governments and people and agencies that never really gets that attention. You have to assume that everybody in the world is a vampire. It's like the movie Daybreakers or something. And if we don't exist in the movie Daybreakers, there's a big problem here. Because no one notices this shit go down, and I find that strange. This movie doesn't offer anything new. Like, if you're not on the Underworld train by now, this is not gonna be the one that brings you over. If you don't like the franchise, this is more of the same shit you didn't like before. Vampires, Lycans, they're traitorous vampires among the vampire ranks, so here we go. And there is a point in this movie where someone becomes so OP, so overpowered, and they never are used to the lengths that they could be used. Flash syndrome. This person comes in and zipping around like the Flash. It's like you could just end problems right now. Nope, can't do that, because once you give someone so much power, they can't use it in the movie, or just choose not to use it in the movie because the movie would simply be over now. Also, and this is the glaring issue, that there are arcs in this movie that are interesting enough that don't really matter because the people they revolve around don't really matter because the movie didn't actually make them matter. It's like someone's like, actually, I'm gonna take charge now because I'm meant to. You don't care? Yeah, that sucks that you don't care, but I'm going to now. Hey, yeah, I was in the audience like, I do not give a shit about you. One of the most glaring things in this movie is the way it wraps up. It's almost like there was 15 minutes to go in the entirety of the movie. Then someone came in and was like, guys, bad news, we're out of budget. So do a voiceover and wrap it up. All right, now. Wrap it up, seriously. And there was a voiceover and it wrapped right up. It's like the end of a Transformers movie or something, man. It was really jarring. I'm really bagging on this movie more than I thought I would. The movie has a couple of scenes where you can see potential as to how they could have executed this thing with some form of great entertainment. Then you realize that the best Underworld movie is actually the first Underworld movie. They should probably let it go. Sing that thing to sleep. I mean, let's face it, the entire arc of where they were going for the first set of Underworld movies is gone now. It's a new thing. So if they don't want to reboot the Underworld movies, guess what? You actually did reboot the Underworld movies. It's just stuck in the same shitty loop you built it into, and so now it can't escape that. It would have been better just to scrap it all and start over. They didn't pull the trigger on it, so now we're slogging through the mud. So in that, I gotta say, you're not gonna remember Underworld Blood Wars in T-minus 1 day. Yep, already forgot. Alright guys, so Underworld Blood Wars, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite and least favorite Underworld movies? Whatever they are, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.